Okay, so we are out of recess, and we're back in session.
Yes.
For the October 30th, 2017 session of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and we do have one additional action item.
We do. Resolution number 17-1159, approving the Fourth Amendment to the amended and reinstated intergovernmental cooperation agreement with Concord Scioto Community Authority.
So moved.
Second.
All right, discussion. Everybody wants to speak up, but I would like to get questions from, or comments from Eric and Mike.
Eric Hostetler, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney. This is the document that accomplishes what was discussed this morning, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, so you're recommending, or you're okay with the document? I mean, it's up to us, obviously, whether we decide to sign it.
We exchanged some drafts. Caleb Bell represents the Community Authority. He and I exchanged some drafts over the weekend. This is the most recent draft. It encompasses all of the changes that I requested, which they accepted.
Okay. And then, Mr. Farmer? Just, I guess, same question. Does this agreement encapsulate all the latest numbers that we were familiar with?
Yeah, Mike Fromer, sanitary engineer. The agreement does capture, the discussions that have been evolving over the last couple weeks, and as Eric had mentioned, we had some comments, over the weekend regarding, I think, with the Stites Road and the adding in some additional approvals of the county engineer on the roadway. And I don't know, Eric, if there was anything you wanted to expand on that, but I think everything we wanted in there as far as approval of the road is correct.
The road improvements in question are a part of a larger subdivision that's going on out there, actually multiple phases of subdivisions. And all of that will still be subject to a normal project agreement that runs through the county engineer and comes before the board for approval. So this is kind of just the foundation for what is going to happen out there. It provides the county's contribution for funding through the community authority, similar to what we did with sewer infrastructure projects in the area. But the county, it will still follow the same process for the county engineer for plan approval, et cetera.
Okay. Yeah, I think, again, the reason I'm interested in getting this project or this agreement done is to get the Lower Scioto sewer plant online. We're adding some much-needed sewer infrastructure, very expensive sewer infrastructure, that will allow that whole corridor to develop, not just these subdivisions, but and Sawmill Parkway, allow further use of that. So.
Yeah. In addition, the ultimate development will be in excess of 1,000 homes in the area, and we've done some financial projections, and we feel that within 7 to 8 years of growth and development, the treatment plant will be operating. The amount of yearly service revenue will be able to maintain what the treatment plant expenses are out there. And I think that the connection fees, as we've projected, along with the millage, would be paying about, over the next 10 years, recouping about $20 million, so approximately two-thirds of the original debt that was encumbered for the facility. There's still thousands of acres out there to be developed, and once again, the way it's set up, I think it'll really give us a really good foot forward for the sewer facility out there and get that in operational and working. So,
It's my understanding that we will have some agreement next couple of weeks, or some resolution regarding tap fees in the area.
Yeah, one of the things that through this whole process that Eric and I looked at, in the amendments, that the commissioners still needed to establish the connection fees for this area. So we are currently in a process. Earlier, I guess it was at the end of 2016, we did 2 resolutions that kind of harmonized the Elm Creek and OECC basins, and the forthcoming resolution will help address the lower side and some of the other areas and have them all on one resolution and one track moving forward, so.
Okay, any other comments? Mr. Lewis, any other?
No, I think it's about time we,
Yeah, I know, it's been long.
it's been,
Everybody's worked very hard, and I want to
Yes,
thank
thank
you
you.
and Eric and
Yeah.
Chris.
Kudos to Eric, he really, over the weekend, and Cy got the 7:30 call, and Eric got the several calls later in the day, so.
Great. Yeah.
I've been told that I'm not allowed to correspond with Eric before 7 in the morning, so.
Is that,
I think to summarize, this basically respects the concerns they had regarding residential TIFs. We get that behind us. And more importantly, as Commissioner Lewis, I think, referred to, we get flow to this plant in enough volume that makes sense to make it functional.
and some great sewer lines that'll allow for a lot of expansion, both commercial and residential, up that corridor.
yeah. It's a huge step forward.
And another thing, too, the way the agreement was kind of crafted as well, is that, the millage from the NCA is what is the revenue source that's being dedicated, to this. So I know one of the items we discussed was future NCAs requesting county contributions and things of that nature. So I think that's something that we wanted to make sure that we nailed down, that, if NCAs want to contribute millage and other contributions to the county, then we would, potentially entertain that if you wanted to at the time, so.
Right. Yeah, and again, I think Commissioner Merrill's comment about residential TIFs, I don't think any of us were
Right.
very, happy to even consider a residential TIF, but given the unique circumstances of the Lower Scioto and the $30+ million investment we have in that plant, and, we really needed to get that going, as well as obviously put infrastructure in to allow for more commercial development. So that's the reason we were even considering it. And so we can move forward without it, and thanks for everybody to figuring out a way to do that.
Thank you.
All right, we will take a vote.
Vote on motion 17-1159. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
I do believe the board is now going to adjourn back into executive session.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Resolution. Resolution number 17-1160, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for the consideration of employment and compensation of a public employee or public official.
So moved?
So moved. Second?
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 17-1160. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right. We are back in executive session. I forgot we were going to do that, so I apologize.
Well, actually, you were there, and we didn't think of it either. We did our conversations, became aware.